Very few people in our culture feel like winners. Almost no one. And that's a great shame because we all won the lottery just to be here. In very real terms, in very objective terms, the chances, if we want to make it into a calculation, the chances of being born as a human being are infinitely small. You've way more chance of winning the lottery than you have of being born a human. Now, making that into a calculation is kind of silly, but it's fun nonetheless. The problem with not feeling like a winner is that until you feel like a winner, you won't win very much. And there's nothing woo-woo or mystical about this. It's just selective focus. And this phenomenon has been studied by Dr. Ian Robertson, a psychologist who got interested in a certain psychological phenomenon that he noticed in the animal kingdom first, whereby animals that won battles against smaller rivals were more likely to go on and win again against bigger rivals. And so Dr. Robertson hypothesized about this psychological phenomenon perhaps still being present in human beings. And he found that yes, it is. And good news, it's not only present in us human beings with regard to fighting, but with regard to everything that we do. With regard to everything that you do, if you notice, appreciate, acknowledge small wins, you are more likely to go on and experience big wins. And Dr. Robertson called this the winner effect. Now, sadly, this is very different to the way that we're all raised. We're raised to focus on our faults, to focus on our losses, to focus on where we're coming up short. Certainly here in Britain, we're told not to be arrogant, not to be proud, not to blow our own trumpets. We confuse modesty with a lack of confidence. Very few of us feel like winners. But Dr. Robertson found that we could manipulate this phenomenon of mind to begin to notice our small victories. When I learned about this, I was struck by how similar Dr. Robertson's teaching is to another famous teaching, the teaching of the Buddha, who taught many things, but one of the things that he taught was what he called right attitude. And one of the ways he encouraged people to practice right attitude was indeed to acknowledge when they were doing something well. Specifically, the Buddha would encourage practitioners to acknowledge when they were practicing mindfulness well, when they were practicing any of his teachings well. And he saw that this had a profound effect on the practitioner's ability to benefit from the teachings and to continue coming back to them and practicing them. So I got interested in thinking, Dr. Robertson encourages us to acknowledge small wins. I wonder what the smallest win is. And because I'd been studying the teaching of the Buddha, it didn't take me long to figure out. There's a very handy and convenient, very small unit of success, which is taking a mindful breath. If you've meditated at all, you know what this is about, but I wonder if you acknowledge a mindful breath as a success. Well, it is a success, according to the most famous, most revered mindfulness teacher of all time, that being the Buddha. It's a success according to anyone else who's ever taught this stuff. So I think we can agree it counts as a success. Now, you may well wonder, what good is it to consider a mindful breath a success? Well, when we hook this into Dr. Robertson's model, where he proved, with rigorous research, that those of us who acknowledge small wins are more likely to go on and enjoy big wins, then it all makes sense. The practice of acknowledging a mindful breath as a success can and does lead to any other success you can imagine. Success in your work or business, success in raising a family, success in dating, success in the gym, success in anything you can think of. Because what we're interested in here is the mechanics of mind. These mechanics being acknowledging success, acknowledging in a broader sense what is good about what you're doing. And there's a flavor of gratitude in this as well. And we know from many, many studies that gratitude works. Gratitude also has profound effects on your well-being. So, let's meditate with all of this in mind. Close your eyes if you wish, leave them open if you wish, whatever you find is more conducive to your focus. And in your own time, at your own rhythm, take with me 3 long, slow, deep breaths. And oh look, we've won already. A success. It may not feel like much of a success to you as you keep taking these long, slow, deep breaths as I speak. It may not feel like much of a success, but we're doing a training here. We are training to acknowledge those breaths as a success. Now, in the more immediate term, as you continue breathing, consider that when you place your attention on your breath, you are not placing your attention on some past moment that you regret or some future moment about which you're anxious. When you place your attention on your breath, you are right here, right now, which if you've spent any time with teachings on meditation, you'll know is the whole game. So you're not causing yourself trouble in the mind when you're placing your attention on the breath. That is a victory. That is a win. When you're reminiscing about the past, in regret, in remorse, you stifle your options in the present moment. You're not here with what's going on right now, which is your best bet at avoiding doing something else that you might regret. If you're conjuring images of the future, you generate anxiety. In anxiety, you're tight. You're once again limited in your options. Your focus narrows. And you're once again less effective in the present moment, which is the only moment in which you can do anything about the future. the only moment in which you can actually reduce symptoms of anxiety. So I hope I'm selling it to you. Let's take another breath, another victory. So the breath is the smallest unit of victory that we might find. This is a practice that you can hold on to. This is a powerful way to frame a meditation practice as not something which is getting in the way of your goals, your worldly endeavors, but something which is enhancing them, something which is helping them. This is what I found. My culture told me the opposite. My culture told me, don't waste time, don't do anything that isn't earning money. Well, I struggled to earn money whilst my mind was so scattered, whilst I was so anxious, so depressed, carrying around such low self-esteem. It was by studying these wisdom teachings and putting them into practice that I unified my mind and found that my earning potential was greater than ever. So I did it the wrong way round, according to society. I took care of my well-being first, at the very deepest level. Then I turned back toward the world as a winner, and thus ready to win. So I deeply encourage you to be a winner. Return to this video whenever you please, or if you feel confident, just take this winner effect with you into all of your endeavors. Acknowledge your successes and see what happens. Run an experiment and let me know what happens.